news, Code Red Easter. Dangerous storm set to hit tomorrow night and into Monday morning. Also at 10, social distancing debate. Americans wondering when life will return to normal. NBC 15 News at 10. Next. Code Red alert tonight. We're tracking severe weather headed our way tomorrow night. Let's send it right over to NBC 15 meteorologist Kelly Foster, who takes us through our hour-by-hour forecast. Kelly.
Hey, Lance. Well, Sunday promises to be dangerous and disruptive. That's why it is a code red weather day. The zone shaded in red under a level 4 out of 5 threat of severe weather, moderate threat. We could be looking at long tracking tornadoes here, possibly even an EF2. The rest of us under a level 3 threat, an enhanced risk, except for our beach zones from Fort Morgan all the way over to Fort Walton Beach. That is a level 2 threat. So let's go ahead and break it down for you. That tornadic threat is medium. Damaging winds, we're going to have a squall line develop. We could be looking at damaging winds 70 plus miles per hour. Quarter size hail can't be ruled out. And this is going to be a fast mover. So I think the flooding threat is going to be on the low side. So look at this. The winds are going to continue to speed up. We're going to have a gusty day. Storms are going to develop near Grove Hill. We could see a few isolated storms out ahead of the main event. Waynesboro, Mississippi, that's at 5. That's outside of our viewing area. By 9 o'clock, you can see we're looking pretty good until about 10 o'clock. And then the squall line begins to rake across the western zones of our viewing area. Notice these cells. This is where we could be looking at tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, and hail. So lining up from Chatham, leading edge near Citronelle, this is at 10. Lucedale down towards Biloxi. Keep in mind the timing on this is going to change some by 11:30 tomorrow night. You can see lining up along I-10 from Mobile all the way down towards the Grand Bay area, Irvington, even the West Mobile Airport area, the Bayway, that's at midnight. Same for Bay Minette up through Monroeville. And then by around 1 o'clock in the morning, this shifts across Florida. You can see right at the Baldwin-Escambia County line, moving up towards Bruton, Evergreen, raking over Pensacola. That's at 1:30, up towards Milton, Andalusia, and then moving east to Fort Walton Beach at about 3 a.m. So this is going to be a fast-moving system. Again, the potential for tornadoes, damaging wind, hail, and some rain at times. And we do have a wind advisory in place. So make sure that you have a way to receive watches and warnings. We're going to talk more about this potential severe outbreak along the Gulf Coast coming up.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, local EMAs are already activated and ready to go. NBC 15's Rachel Wilkerson reports on how they are preparing for the storm.
Mobile County EMA Director of Plans and Operations Glenn Brand says while there aren't any shelters currently on standby, they are ready to respond to damaged areas if needed.
Work very closely with the Red Cross, so if we do have damage and we have to open shelters, we can work closely with them.
A Baldwin County EMA spokesperson says at this time there are no shelters on standby in Baldwin County either. Mark Ingram with Baldwin County EMC says the control center will be staffed monitoring the weather. He says they are prepared for the storm.
Right now with the COVID-19 that is going on, we initially sent our crews home with their trucks. So reporting to any outages or any service work that needs to be done can be readily done from their house. And a lot of times that's quicker to respond to outages rather than having to come into the office and get a vehicle.
In Clark County, there are no tornado shelters. Clark County EMA Director Roy Waite says he wants the community to keep in mind the difference between the stay-at-home order and shelter-in-place. He says if the weather is bad enough, a shelter-in-place can be issued, meaning to stay inside until further notice.
With COVID, we're trying to encourage people not to go to someone else's home, but if it becomes necessary due to a tornado warning, you want to make sure everybody in those homes have a mask, and you try to stay as far apart as you can, at least 6 feet.
Rachel Wilkerson, NBC 15 News.
And be sure to stay with NBC 15 News as this Code Red weather approaches. We are constantly updating the weather story on the homepage at mynbc15.com. And our meteorologist will also host live forecasts on Facebook, so make sure you follow MyNBC15 so you can get those questions in for those Facebook Lives. Of course, we will cut into programming if the weather becomes life-threatening. Now is also a good time to download the NBC 15 News and weather apps. They are free in the Apple and Google Play stores. All right, breaking news right now, disturbing the peace. Despite the statewide stay-at-home order, a large group of people in Pritchard gathered for a block party tonight. This is what our crew saw when they arrived on scene. Multiple police cars spread across the area and, of course, plenty of traffic. We're going to get back to that in just a moment, but first there is more breaking news just into our newsroom. One person has been shot on Stovall Street. NBC 15's Rachel Wilkerson is live from the scene right now. And Rachel, what can you tell us?
Well, Lance, I'm told that it is an older male. I'm going to step away so you can see the area here. This is a very fluid scene. We just arrived on scene not too long ago. They are investigating one person's shot, like you mentioned. We don't have too many details at this time. The public information officer is on scene. He is here. He told me that right now this is just an active investigation. As you can see, I've counted numerous officers here just trying to get to the bottom of this. There are several witnesses out here as well. They taped off this area. They're asking people to avoid this area right now so they can get this investigation under control. It's been a busy day for Pritchard Police. Take a look at this video shot less than an hour ago. Police had to shut down 3 block parties. I'm told around 5 o'clock this afternoon, a block party started on St. Stephen's Road near I-65 at Circle K. Police were called out. They were flashing their lights, honking their horns, trying to get everyone to leave the area. I'm told people then moved to the Chevron at First Avenue in St. Stephen's. Police once again moved to that location, trying to get everybody to leave the area because a lot of people were out there. I'm told that it looked like a parade for Mardi Gras. That's how many people were standing out there. Well, police then had to go to Telegraph Road, where A1 is, to shut down a 3rd block party because people moved from First Avenue all the way down to Telegraph Road. So once again, it's been a busy day for Pritchard Police. They had to shut down 3 block parties. I'm told because of those parties, traffic was so busy on St. Stephen's Road. There were 2 separate accidents. A lot of people reached out to our newsroom, called us, sent us pictures of everything, very concerned about what's going on. But nobody was injured on St. Stephen's Road. There were just a lot of people out there. I'm told that there was an ambulance trying to get through that area, but they couldn't get through because of how heavy the traffic was. So Pritchard Police just asking everybody to practice social distancing. There were a lot of people out there lined up along the roads. I'm just told, you know, this is a pandemic and everyone needs to take this seriously. They said that they will be ticketing people. It is now 10:06, so that curfew is in place. Pritchard Police are out here. They say if they see you, they will be giving you a ticket. So once again, very busy day here in Pritchard. So you can see behind me, we do have police officers here investigating a potential homicide. As soon as we get any more information, we'll be sure to let you know. Reporting live in Pritchard, Rachel Wilkerson, NBC 15 News.
Rachel, thank you. Okay, now let's take a look at the number of coronavirus cases here in the state of Alabama. More than 3,200 cases statewide, 60 confirmed deaths. Here in Mobile County alone, 429 people have been confirmed infected with COVID-19. There have been 9 deaths. There are just 66 cases in Baldwin County. But another grim milestone for the United States in the battle against the coronavirus. The country's death toll surpassed Italy and every other country in the world with more than 20,000, and more than 500,000 people are infected. Now tonight, many questions out of Washington about how to further help millions of Americans out of work or struggling to make ends meet. Sinclair National correspondent Christine Frizzau has the latest.
America is now in the lead when it comes to the number of deaths from COVID-19, just surpassing Italy, Spain, and China. The left-leaning Center for American Progress posted this line graph illustrating the extreme curve. But it's a curve those on the White House Coronavirus Task Force say is finally flattening.
You can see for the first time that in the United States, we're starting to level on the logarithmic phase like Italy did about a week ago.
Still, a reminder from public health officials not to let up on social distancing and other precautions.
This is not the time to feel that since we have made such important advance in the sense of success of the mitigation, that we need to be pulling back at all.
New York City's mayor heeding the advice this weekend with this announcement.
After very careful consideration, I announced today that the New York City Public Schools will remain closed for the remainder of this school year.
Meanwhile, Congress is struggling to come to an agreement over the next round of funding, more than $250 billion for small businesses. Senate Democrats recently blocked the effort by Republicans to pass it by unanimous consent.
We must not fail them. My colleagues must not treat working Americans as political hostages.
More than 70% of small business owners have reportedly applied for these emergency loans. The vast majority still waiting to see that money. Democrats arguing the latest attempt to boost the Paycheck Protection Program is too limited.
Congress created PPP to partner with lenders around the country to quickly deploy capital to all small businesses, not just small businesses that have relationships with lenders.
Another standoff in Congress as members attempt to legislate outside of Washington. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
And the checks are out. The Internal Revenue Service says it made an initial wave of stimulus payments today, so you might want to check your account, see if there's some extra money there. The IRS says direct deposits will continue over the next several days. Those who do not have direct deposit will have to wait weeks, possibly even months, to get a check in the mail. And still to come, counting the numbers, millions filing for unemployment, and a look at what the outbreak means for jobs lost in China.
And Easter evening, the potential for tornadoes, damaging winds 70+ miles per hour, large hail, and the potential for some flash flooding in some spots. We'll talk more about that in our hour forecast after the break.
Salute to our veterans. Sponsored by Navigator Credit Union, guiding the Gulf Coast since 1939.
NBC 15 is giving a salute to our veterans. And tonight we honor First Lieutenant Thomas Rainey, who served in the U.S. Marine Corps. He died during the Vietnam War. He was from Pensacola. Thank you for your service and for giving the ultimate sacrifice, First Lieutenant Thomas Rainey. With more than 16 million Americans filing for unemployment over the last 3 weeks alone, the Trump administration recognizes the need more urgently now than ever. Sinclair investigative reporter James Rosen examines a resurgence in manufacturing jobs once the virus recedes.
With China's own economy the first to sustain deep damage from the coronavirus outbreak that originated in Wuhan, business leaders and top U.S. officials from the president on down have speculated that American firms, from Apple and Google on down, might reevaluate their reliance on Chinese supply chains and start to return manufacturing jobs to domestic shores.
This crisis has underscored just how critical it is to have strong borders and a robust manufacturing sector. Our goal for the future must be to have American medicine for American patients, American supplies for American hospitals, and American equipment for our great American heroes.
But the reliance of U.S. companies on workers and markets in China, the world's second largest economy, is heavy, with American businesses pumping an estimated $7 billion a year into the Chinese economy.
And we're going to deliver.
Well, thank you very much, Jay. That's really
Thank
nice.
you.
Jay Timmons, president and CEO of the National Association of Manufacturers, told Sinclair he believes the coronavirus should speed up the process of U.S. firms relocating overseas production plants to American soil.
The fact that China has not exactly been the easiest government to deal with, hasn't been the most forthright and honest, not only in this situation, but many others. I think that the business community here in the United States understands that. And this crisis should really inform us about how much teeth phase 2 needs to have in it.
Phase 2 refers to a second interim trade agreement presently being negotiated by the U.S. and China in a bid to put an end to the tariff war that has enveloped the two economic giants during the Trump era, but with distrust between Washington and Beijing running feverishly high in the pandemic.
And I hope they're going to honor that trade deal. If they don't honor the trade deal, then I'll tell you a different answer. But I think they will.
The prospects for a swift resolution to the U.S.-China trade dispute appear more remote than in the months that immediately preceded the outbreak. Reporting from Chesapeake Bay, Maryland, James Rosen.
We're going to have the energy, the dynamics, all the ingredients in place for severe weather and a potential severe weather outbreak tomorrow. Warm front lifting north, putting us in the warm sector tomorrow morning. Winds are going to get gusty, and then storms are going to unleash as we head to the afternoon and evening hours. As you can see, the zone shaded in red, a level 4 out of 5 threat of severe weather, with 5 being the highest. Rest of the viewing area shaded in orange. That's a level 3, an enhanced threat, except for our beach zones shaded in yellow from Fort Morgan to Fort Walton Beach under a level 2, a slight threat. So primarily we're talking about long tracking tornadoes in the northwest corner of our viewing area, possibly even in EF2. The rest of the viewing area could still be looking at strong tornadic activity. Also damaging winds as the squall line is going to be developing. We're talking gusting up to 70 miles per hour and large hail, quarter size to golf ball size. So it is going to be a warm and windy Easter morning. Storms igniting Easter night into the overnight hours. Watch us on air, online, and download our NBC 15 weather app. I'm sure a lot of folks are going to be streaming their Easter services online, but if you're watching television, make sure the channel is on us, and make sure that you have a safe zone in your home to retreat to should your neighborhood fall under a warning. So the warm front lifts north in the morning. The cold front swings across our area tomorrow night, and those are going to be the things that are really going to provide the spin in the atmosphere. So take a look at noon tomorrow. Gusty winds, showers around for Grove Hill. We still could be looking at some isolated strong to severe storms. And then at 5 o'clock, still storms to our north. By 9 o'clock, leading edge of a squall line developing, moving into Greene County, Mississippi, northwest corner of Washington County. By 10 o'clock, that squall line moving towards Chatham, leading edge near Citronelle, slicing through George County near the Lucedale area and back towards Biloxi Bay. By around 11:30, Mobile is going to be the bullseye. You can see West Mobile, Tillman's Corner, Theodore, Irvington, all the way down towards Grand Bay. And then by midnight, it's the Bayway, crossing over towards Daphne, up towards Bay Minette, and up the I-65 corridor in between Atmore and Evergreen. By around 1 a.m., it quickly shifts over. You can see towards Perdido, up towards Bruton and Evergreen. And then by around 1:30, Pensacola is in the line of fire. Same for the Milton area. And then by 3 a.m., shifting east of Okaloosa County. So the timeline right now looks to be 10 p.m. until about 3 a.m., but we will be fine-tuning the forecast. Winds are going to be gusting really fast out ahead of this system. Wind advisory mid-morning tomorrow through 4 a.m. on Monday, and keep in mind those winds are going to be gusting at times during the heart of the afternoon, 35 miles per hour and up to about 40 miles per hour by the time that system moves through. There's your 7-day tracker. Code red Easter Sunday. Make sure you have a way to receive watches and warnings. Keep the channel on us, and then notice improving conditions by next week. We'll be back.
And we continue to follow breaking news right now. A person has been shot on Stovall Street in Pritchard. Let's go back out to NBC 15's Rachel Wilkerson. She's live at the scene. Rachel, what can you tell us?
Well, Lance, the Mobile County Sheriff's Office is here assisting Pritchard Police right now. I'm going to step out the way so you can see multiple officers and deputies here investigating this situation. We're told that one person was shot. At this time, we don't know the extent of his injuries. We're only being told that it's an older male. The public information officer is on scene. He told us that he would give us an update as soon as he's ready to make a call, and once again, we'll be sure to let you know. This is Stovall Street. Police investigating one person shot, and the Mobile County Sheriff's Office is assisting, but we will keep you updated and bring you the latest as soon as we receive it. For now, I'm going to send it back to you, Lance.
And here is why we're under a code red weather for Easter Sunday, a level 4 out of 5 threat for the northwest corner of our viewing area. The rest of us under that level 3 threat and a level 2 threat for our beach zones. Make sure you have a way to receive watches and warnings. We're going to be topping out Easter Sunday 82. Wind advisory with those winds gusting to 40, high of 82, and then we're back in the 70s with not much rain in the upcoming week. Lance.
Kelly, thank you very much, and thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget, for the very latest overnight news, you can check us out on our website, mynbc15.com. Have a good Easter, stay safe, and stay healthy.